It's your man, Tell Mikell.
And I'm Joe Duke.
And you're listening to
She,
another episode of You
You
Good,
yeah,
good,
Bruh.
bruh?
Hey,
bruh.
she said, bro, y'all not about to leave me out the intro.
I,
I'm
need,
just,
I,
Hey,
I want that
hey,
she,
shit.
I was gonna introduce you, bro. I was gonna introduce you. But yeah, man. Hey, we here with my boy Chi. You know,
she.
he's my homeboy from. I mean, I've been talking. Me and him have been cool for it's been about 10 years now. You
Yes, 10
know,
years.
yeah, he's my line brother's best friend. You know, and he's known for a lot of notorious things.
Yes, yes, he is.
Oh, man.
but we but
Notorious.
yeah, you know
Yeah,
that
Notorious is the word.
that's neither here nor there.
yeah.
It's one
That's
of
not
those.
the topic today.
Yeah, it's not a topic. That's one of those. If you know, you know. But that's all.
Uh,
If you don't know,
Now you
you
know.
ain't gonna know.
You ain't gonna know. That's it. But we got breaking news, man.
Secret society.
Maya Moore is married Jonathan Irons, the man that she has been fighting for to come out of prison. She actually put her WNBA career on pause to fight for getting this young man Jonathan Irons in, who was convicted of a crime which he didn't commit. And she's been fighting for him for about 2 years now. He got out recently, I think this past month. It was like 2 months ago, and she has married him. And it has raised a really interesting conversation about uh, the worth of black men in this society that we're in right now, because Maya Moore, one of the arguably, in my opinion, she's the best WNBA player that there is. I mean, there are people that
She could
think that.
actually put her career on
Yeah,
hold.
she could put her career on hold and come back like
Right,
Jordan and still
right.
be, competing at the top of the game. And she married, and not necessarily he's not a convict because he was wrongfully accused, but she married a guy fresh out of prison. And so, today we're talking about are men, are black men the prize? Because we're gonna talk black men because it's a little different for other categories, but we're gonna talk, are black men the prize? Um, we're first and foremost, we are located out in Atlanta. Most of us are located out in Atlanta. And so this show is pretty much located out in Atlanta. So I think we could even bring it even better closer into, our black men in Atlanta the prize, you know.
Okay.
And I
Ooh.
think I
Ooh.
think that would make it a more interesting conversation. Before we get to that though, there's also another a little post that actually also ruffled a lot of feathers. It was a young black man who graduated law school, and I want to read it, but gee, do you know verbatim for the most part? Can you summarize what he said, or you want me to go ahead and read it? Because
Uh, I mean, it's a lot. For the most part, what he said was he pretty much gave statistics on black men.
Mm.
And of course, the statistics weren't the best compared to other racial groups. And then him just graduating law school, he pretty much summarized that he is now, in fact, the prize because out of how black men are statistically, he's set apart because he graduated from law school. So that's in essence what he said.
yeah, I mean, what he was saying is basically, black women out here don't have options that look like me, and the options that look like me, that have this law degree, that, and first of all, let me disclaim it. That shit lame. Let's be. I want
Yeah,
I want to be
that's
clear.
horrible. It is.
The shit is lame. It's not nothing I would ever do. Okay, but
Yeah.
it does raise an interesting conversation about scarcity from when it comes from a black woman's perspective. And so the way he looks at it is, I got a JD. You know what I'm saying? My the bar is loading. I'm gonna go get the bar. You know what I'm saying? So I can practice or whatever. And I'm probably gonna be making money that most men, black men, can't make in where I'm at, or whatever the case may be. So should it be now that I am the bar that black women are looking for, and I'm not chasing, they should be chasing me. And so So,
I mean,
Mikell, you over there, you hurting.
I mean, so my first thought is, did this Negro go through college just so he could be a better option? Like, what the fuck is he saying right now? You know what I mean? Like he's not saying, hey, he's not speaking of his character. That's my point. He's speaking about tight labels and shit that, and really the black community, in the current state of the black community, we shouldn't give a shit about labels. Right now, we need all hands on deck.
Mm-hmm.
And he's sitting there talking about, well, look at my wall. Look at what I got. I make more.
I'm done.
I very rarely say this, but nigga, please, like, are you out your damn mind?
And that's the pushback he got as well. Like, a lot of people were wondering if he did that just to, brag on himself and about all his accomplishments, and if he did it to get women. And the crazy thing is, he made this post about black women, and the woman he got isn't even black.
So, wow, what I was just about to say, he sound like the type of dude that would vote for Trump based on our earlier conversation.
Yes.
He sound like the type of, you broke that down like that, Mikell.
Well, before you got on, we were just kind of covering some stats from the black community, and I was like, what percentage of these college educated black men, they talking about
doing stuff like that?
Yeah, and she literally said those are self-interested people. I'm paraphrasing, but you know what I mean, like those are selfish people. Those are people only focused on themselves. And here we have this post from a black man that's not dating a black woman. And
he's
pretty
not
much
even dating a black woman.
He's not even dating a black woman. So that right there is a disqualifier, in my humble opinion.
Yeah, he's disqualified, definitely.
And he shouldn't be referenceable. Like, I hate that we even giving him some light on this.
I don't think I don't think about it as giving him light. I'm thinking about it from his perspective of women and their options. You know what I'm saying? And our women and their options. And so let's just say mirroring Maya Moore's situation. It's like Maya Moore has all the options in the world, right? Like, who wouldn't want to be with Maya Moore? And it's not to say that her being with a guy that's coming out of prison, love happens how it happens. But it's like, so she met him at 18, from the age of 18.
Yeah, I thought it was like 2007. So
yeah, and she was 18.
Yeah,
we the same age. So it's like she met him at 18, and now she's 31, probably going on 32.
But she met him in prison, so it wasn't like a surprise.
Yeah, no, it wasn't.
Oh, I did not
know. He was in prison too.
Yeah, he was in prison when he met her. When she met him.
Yeah, her family used to do a ministry in the prison.
Yeah.
And that's when she met him.
I was like, okay.
So she's known him and had built a relationship with him over all of these years. So you want to talk about, I referenced, knowing somebody's character. She had an opportunity to know his character. And then she, leveraged her notoriety to kind of help him get out of prison, or at least get his case in front of the court that could say, oh, we made a mistake.
Well, what's wild about that, though, is like, so she ain't met nobody with some character in between there that can, like.
No, but it's possible.
I'm not saying it's impossible. I know, like, my favorite show is Love After Lockup. Like, I love.
You so funny.
I like trash. I like trash
You
TV.
stupid.
Okay, so I know it happens. But what I'm saying is, it's never somebody like Maya Moore on there. It's always somebody like, I ain't been able to find a man. I'm lonely, so I get on.
She got that voice too.
Yeah, literally. It's like, I was lonely, so I got on the internet, and I found the pen pal or whatever. But it's like,
we could reflect on that. Like, to me, if she's fine and she's been fine, the men that have approached her from the highlight where she sits probably are just trying to chop her down. You dig what I'm saying? Like, oh, I'm about to climb this tree. I'm about to, you know what I'm saying? I'm about to do, like, the attitude of the dudes approaching her probably were not in a genuine sense, but every time she talked to Mr. Irons, it was, hey girl, how you doing? How you fam? Like, you dig what I'm saying? Like, maybe there's, over time, she probably fell in and out of love with people, but still had this one constant that just that kind of shine.
Okay,
that makes sense. Thinking about this in Atlanta, right? Us being men out here in Atlanta, do y'all feel like there is a hot commodity of a man, like, because I like with this topic.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I do see, especially in Atlanta, I do see like if you're a certain type of man, it's like the plethora of women that's gonna be trying to come at you is gonna be like crazy. Like,
come on. I mean, that shit is high school though. I
yeah,
mean,
it
and
is
what I
high
mean by
school.
high school, I don't mean like immature. I'm saying like even in high school, the culture is who's the hot boy, the quarterback, the basketball star, you know, somebody that all the girls swoon over as he walks down the hall. He can pretty much have anyone. That's been through life. And then
Agreed.
and so you shrink that down into what some people call Black Mecca. You're gonna have all the superstars from all these areas come into one space, and they still got a superstar mentality. You know what I mean? And the women come here. We talked about it. I'm like, God, how many episodes is about women carrying the message?
Yeah, that was a while ago, bro.
That was a while ago.
Yeah.
But this is what we're talking about is something that I feel that women have created. They created that monster that just graduated from law school.
Really?
Yeah.
Speak on that.
The messaging that we get as men is, and I've referenced this all the time. Chris Rock said, if women would accept us living in cardboard boxes, we would be some cardboard box living motherfuckers playing PlayStation and the whole shit. If they would accept us as we were, we would be that. But we've heard it from our mothers, we've heard it from our sisters, aunts, cousins, the women that we're friends with, the women that we've slept with. They want a man that has the ability for stability. And what does that look like in this society? Oh, I got a JD, so that means I always have a job. I hate that that's the case because they teach us how to work for people. I always have, work, or I have this level of education, or I have this business. I have this many trucks. I own a logistics company. We've kind of gotten wrapped up in, our identity is wrapped up in how we make money because women talk about it all the time. That,
Go ahead, Chief.
Yeah, so I mean, I understand what you're saying, and that's just nature. Women want, like you said, women want stability, and it's in America, stability is the amount of money you make. That's how you stay stable in this country.
Right.
You got to be economically attractive, and the thing is, and I'm kind of switching gears a little bit. In Atlanta, it's not really needed as much as it is in some of these other places. And I'll kind of elaborate on what I mean, because a man can be making $40,000, which is okay money. He can be making $40,000, and he can be still deemed as what a woman would want out here, just because you have a bunch, like we spoke on the male before, how he gave all the statistics of the Black male. How we kind of lagging behind socioeconomically and everything. A man, no felonies, no kids, making $40,000, a good, decent job. That's attractive out here to a lot of these ladies, because a lot of men don't have that. And of course, these women, as women are progressively getting better, they want a man who can match them. And a lot of these men aren't matching them. So that man right there, with what he has, is some stability for that woman, and it kind of matches her in that way. So these men who don't seem like they're doing the best or everything, making $100K a year or even have a JD, anything like that, they're still getting approached by women just because they provide some stability and give this woman who's doing better some companionship that every human craves for.
Yeah, the companionship comes at a lower premium because they don't have kids like that.
Yeah,
if it ain't the money, oh, this nigga ain't got kids, and if you're in Atlanta, oh, and he ain't gay. So it's kind of like
exactly. It just keeps compounding.
So let's speak on that. So does that mean that women should do more? Like, is it like?
Oh yeah.
Is it like, okay? Because we understand.
All right, so talk about that, because I'm gonna go a different way.
In a way, I think there's, we got to understand that relationships in a way are competitive. It's like it's about competition, right? So eventually, unfortunately, that's the way it is.
That's nature.
Yeah, it's nature.
Yeah.
It's
Not
survival.
inside. It shouldn't be inside the dyad, the or a couple. It shouldn't be
But
inside the couple. Like when you
but
become, and
Oh,
let
oh
me
yeah.
back up. Let
no,
me back
no,
up
no,
and say
no. I'm
this.
not speaking from the couple standpoint. I'm
That's what I was
talking
about to
about
say.
from
Because I'm
yeah,
going to committed
yeah. I'm
relationship.
talking
Okay.
about from a standpoint of landing your man or landing your woman,
Dating.
dating or whatever
Okay.
case may be. It becomes a competition, and and for a man who has a higher status or is of a higher stature, like like we've been taught from conditioning that we're supposed to court our women. We're supposed to get to take them on dates, splurge on them, spend money on them, whatever the case may be, because they are the prize, right? And so now what we're saying is there's a scarcity. It's like supply and
Mm-hmm.
demand economics,
Exactly.
that kind of thing. And so
Man
it's
the
like,
prize now.
so does that mean that women should be doing more when they're like
I,
dealing with men on the dating tip? I don't know. I ain't been out here in a
I
minute.
mean, but what does more look like? Can we
I
define that? Because
I,
that's what I'm
I
trying
don't.
to.
I mean, well, from my standpoint, I feel like early on in relationships, men do a lot first financially to try to secure the woman's attention. But in my
To
opinion, I'm
court the
like,
woman.
what like it's a lot when you talk about courting a woman. It's a little one-sided at the beginning. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of like the
Mhm.
man kind of doing what they have
Does
to
the
do. Yeah,
chasing.
yeah, us doing the chasing and the women, doing the all right, let me see what he trying to do, or if this is what I want, versus women being more on the aggressive, like a mutual chase type deal. Like I'm coming for you, coming for me. We're trying to, we coming for each other type deal. Especially
Mm,
because what we're saying about the man the black man being a little bit more scarce from a professional standpoint, from a personal standpoint, whether they have kids or not, is like there's it kind of puts you in a different lane, right? So does that mean that women should be kind of trying harder? You know what I'm saying? Because like they kind of taught that sit back and watch it roll versus
Mhm.
taking it into their own hands, saying, "Hey, look, man, you got what I like." You know what I'm saying? Let's see if we can make this happen, type deal. Versus letting the man kind of initiate all of that kind of stuff.
I'm. I would just say this. I've never been a proponent of dating for sport, and to me, that's that falls into dating for sport. Like I'm just dating. I'm like
And
for
that's a good one.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's like I know women that date just to eat. You know what I mean?
it's a
Like
lot.
I'm
It's a lot of
A
that.
hungry.
lot of
Let me
women,
see.
a lot, yeah.
WYD, where because they hungry. You dig
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like,
Mm.
but if you're dating with a purpose, I would recommend that the woman actively participate, not necessarily like pay for shit and all this other stuff, but like let the Negro know that you're interested in him. Be a little bit more proactive with communication. Come up with ideas of stuff to do. Feel comfortable cooking for a dude. Like when you say doing more, I'm wondering because I've been at the circles for years now.
Oh, I've been out too.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
What I'm saying is based on what I remember, because I used to
Right.
be out
It's so
there.
that's what I'm getting at.
You
My
know?
my comments are based on what I recollect.
Yeah.
And
It's my
you know,
recollection.
my recollection was that women that were interested in you actively participated in the dating. It wasn't just you chasing. Like chase is, I see you in the spot, I step to you, get your number. We gonna link up. Maybe we had a drink before we left that night, and I let you know I really appreciate you taking it. Like that chase. But once we got on a cordial level and we're meeting out in public together, like it is at that point in agreement. And I tend to be like that. I'm like, yo, fuck with me or not. That's what we gonna do. That's what we doing right now.
Yeah.
And like I saw, I can't remember if I tell you about it. I saw this meme this dude put out talking about if you've been out with a woman on 3 dates and she ain't never offered to pay, you need to trash her. She trash or something like that. What the fuck?
Hey, hold on.
Yeah,
But
he
she is
said.
like, hold up, wait now. I mean,
But that's what I'm
hey,
saying. So
dates are
the
expensive.
things are different. That's what I'm getting at. Things
Yeah.
are different now. Like to me, the market is toxic. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
there we go.
toxic,
Yeah, there we
and the
go.
toxicity is now, like toxins do, gotten into everybody. So now we have these
Mm-hmm.
ideals about people that we've never met, and we're operating in these ideals. But when you
Mm-hmm.
statistically look at it, that's just not our reality. You know what I mean? Like we already put it this way: men are already an asset item because genetically, women are always going to be 3-1, right? There's a 25% chance you'll have a son when kids are born. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? Because we start out female, the 75% chance, 25% chance that XY XX is happening, right? Or whatever. I forgot the chromosome matchup.
I think the guys are the XY and the girls
Yeah,
are
with
the X.
XY. Thank you. So
XX.
I'm just saying we
Yeah.
start out. All of us start out XX.
Mhm.
So, well, you know what I'm talking about. We don't have male
Gee,
goddamn
you're
doctor.
the scientist,
Yeah.
man. Help us
Right.
out.
That's what I'm pointing to. I'm like, you know what I'm talking about. Don't
Yeah,
just,
He just listening to you. He just
I'm
listening
speaking
to you
in
talk.
layman
He got
terms,
that.
goddamn.
I got you.
Yeah.
But so we're already an asset because we're a limited supply. And then you talk about
Yeah.
Atlanta. I mean, it's 7-1, but half of the 7 women identify as gay or bisexual. So does that really like do we even count that group? So it's still 3-1. That's my point. It's still kind of like 4-1. The point is that we've always been in this position of having limited supply for women. So what changed? Like, what was the switch up?
Well.
I think what changes the
Go ahead.
mindset. I think
Yes,
what changes the mindset, because it's like when you talk about the Mia Moore story, this is my first time listening about it. But
Maya
Moore, yeah.
Maya Moore. But the dude that she fell in love with in prison, he gave her something mentally, you could tell. Like it had nothing to do. He gave her something that she needed, not something
he gave her that pimping.
Yeah.
Hey,
I don't know
The
about
pimping that
it's
she
like,
needed.
you have
that
got
pen pal. You gave her that pen
from
pal.
him.
I've been thinking about you all day.
Right.
but yeah,
That's wrong.
I think that's the thing, that there's a switch may have flipped and guys just like, why am I doing all this? She ain't got as many options. You know,
Exactly.
I'm playing
That's what
devil's
happened.
advocate here. I don't really, I have
But
no
does
parents,
does it make
but
you not genuinely interested in somebody anymore?
well, I think it makes it change the way you play the field, because it's a game that's being played, right? So
It's a
the
game.
way you go about it is different. It's not to say that you're not interested. It's to say, hey, look, why put my all into this when I don't know how it's gonna shake out, and I am what's scarce here. So it's like the way they looking at it is maybe they should be coming to me versus me coming, like maybe the let's just say if it's 60-40, it should be 60 their way and 40 my way versus they should be putting 60 in, I should be putting 40 in.
I don't want all that traffic.
Nah.
He's so funny.
You will. I'm just saying, like, can you imagine you go to a party and it's like every woman's trying to fuck with you? The ugly ones, the fine ones, the fat ones.
Hey, that sounds like a good party to me.
That's not
that
out of
sounds
hell,
horrible.
bro. That shit is hell, bro. Like
You said that
women-
sounds like hell.
yeah.
I
I
don't know
mean,
about it.
I already put it this way: like, if you grow up in a household full of women, and I'm basing this on clients that I've had. They do not like a lot of noise. They do not like a lot of, and when women get competitive, that shit gets nasty. That shit gets unattractive as fuck. And that's why I don't mind a woman. Look, give me the eye. You know what I mean? I can read social cues. I know who fucking with me and who ain't. You know what I mean? Just give me the eye. I'm gonna look at you. If she down, she gonna give me what I need to know. It's like it doesn't have to be standoffish. That's what I'm saying. Like I participate. I would like to believe that most people choose who's in their circle versus, and what I mean by choose, I mean saying like you identify somebody you want in your circle versus how many come at you and then how many fall off. Because it's like I don't have time for all that noise. That's a lot of noise. Can you imagine all the phone calls, text messages?
Well, I get that. I get that, but at the same time, I do feel like the sentiment on the men's side is that, look, we can play this differently. Like we can make I don't have to go broke, doing all these dates. You know what I'm saying? Because you talk about or the way they date. Because it's like,
what was who was the dude that said he had posted a female was like, oh no, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say female. This woman was saying that who in the hell told men that going for a walk in the park is a date?
and that's what I'm saying to you is If I'm the
Come on
prize,
now.
if I ain't spending no money, you know.
No, let me just say
That's
this. Let me just I gotta go in for this one.
Go
Like,
ahead, go ahead.
if I'm gonna get my ashy ass up, take a shower, put on some clothes, get in my car, and burn my motherfucking gas to get to a park to walk for 40 minutes and go, I need my ass beat. Like, that doesn't even make logical sense. Like, go have a drink, go sit down with the female, go sit down with a woman and go like be yourself. But if I'm sitting up and saying, all right, 40 minutes is up, thanks for the walk, and I'm deuces, that shit don't even like you can't smash off no walk.
Chi,
She's so funny.
what is your opinion on that? I'm seeing your face. what
Hey,
is your opinion?
so
Oh no, I think
like
that's
we
the
said before, I don't know when exactly it happened.
Yeah.
I'm not no historian, but the game has changed. The game is literally
highly.
changed, and it's not the same anymore.
Okay.
Back in the day, I feel like, you had to, if you're interested in a woman, you go court her and everything, in order to, for her to like you or to get the draws or whatever. It's completely different and don't think I'm trashing in a way. As the culture has changed and women have been able to express themselves more, as they become more free in how they carry themselves, it kind of changed the dating game as well, because now you're not having to do as much to possibly, get this woman to like you, sleep with her if that's what your goal is. Because the woman, they're not being told that they shouldn't do that anymore. At this point, it's now, if they want to, they'll do that. And so a lot of what dudes used to do in the past, they don't have to do anymore, because you're getting the same goal without putting as much work. And that's translating to the dating game as well. So
I don't know. I mean, I smashed without effort before. Like, that's what I don't know that the game has changed, but I don't know if the game changed. I think the narrative has changed. Like, I do agree with you, like, because women are in a position where they don't necessarily are stressed about stability because of how they've been able to build their lives. So maybe stability is not necessarily needed, a la Maya Moore, you know what I mean? Like, maybe that isn't a feature that they're looking for, and they're looking for somebody that's a little bit more. Now, I can tell you what they tell me they're looking for. They want somebody that's quote unquote emotionally mature, someone that is, family oriented, because not all, but most women do want to have a family. So they're looking for other qualities that really have nothing to, and this is what I'm saying, that really have nothing to do with how much money a dude makes or spends. And that's what I'm saying, that old boy from the JD, is a disconnect. He's thinking,
it's a huge disconnect.
It's a disconnect, because that's not what they're looking for. And like you said, they're a little bit more liberated, or at least upfront, because they were smashing like they smash now back then. Ain't nothing new under the sun.
Well, could it be? Let's talk. Let's switch it just a little bit. Could it be it's an insecurity issue? It's like,
it's definitely insecurity.
It's our insecurity.
That's what I'm saying. Like, could it be a male insecurity issue? It's like, okay, well, nobody really told me I was the shit. I had issues in high school and in college, and now I'm thrown into this area where now I'm considered to be the shit based on what I have, whether it be a JD, whether it be a stable job, whether it be what I don't have, which is not kids. I'm 30 years old, no kids type thing. It's like, could it be now they're trying to puff their ego by the way they play the field? You know what I'm saying? Is that another? Could that be another aspect of it?
Too. Yeah, it sounds like he's selling himself.
Yeah, but that's what
and it's I sound like social media have an influence too a little bit.
It has a hell of an influence, but I mean, I think Sam is addressing something that, like I said, is nothing new under the sun. And historically, that would have been the girl that was, or guy that was maybe say heavyset and unattractive, and then they lost all this weight, and then they got what society considered to be fine. They lose their fucking mind. They out there fucking everything moving, and it's all about, look, they want me now. They want me now. You know what I'm saying? So
no true connections though.
No true connections, but it wasn't about connection to begin with. It was about, not making up lost time, but just kind of like
being wanted.
Yeah,
It's like if tomorrow you wake up as Superman,
Yeah.
you're gonna be flying your ass off. You're gonna
Everywhere.
be lifting shit that you ain't got to be
You
lifted.
stupid.
Like you go. I'm just saying, like it's like you found a new superpower, and that's what
That's
I
true.
see. It's like this dude. We graduate from college. We ain't got no felony records. It's my superpower, bitch. I live past 25. Like it's. And so Sam is right.
Very shallow.
It's shallow, but it's puffing up something that has been deflated most of their lives.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it, but that's still toxic. Like no matter how you cut poison, it's still poison. You know what I mean? And so I think that's
because if you get with him, like you get in with him in a relationship, like if you get in a relationship with him, right, you're basically gotta. It sounds like you're about to downgrade who you gotta be, demean yourself a little bit just to be with that dude,
and put him on the
because he's
pedestal.
like, oh, you should be happy to be
you're
with
going
me.
to put him up there, right?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
And so
codependency.
let me. So what are women?
That's what we call codependency in clinical circles.
Oh man, you said it's called codependency.
Yeah, I mean that's in codependency. There's always going to be a hierarchy in the relationship, and this person feel like they're doing everything, and this person feels like they're always looking down at me. They're always talking shit about me, and ultimately that's what's going to happen. You're like, look, bitch, I got a JD. I don't need your ass. You know how many bras I can get? That's what I'm saying. Like that's codependency. Like that's.
And so, what would you say to the women that are just like, okay, well, these men think they hot shit. So
I say think you hot shit too. There's nothing wrong with two hot shits as long as y'all recognize that both of y'all hot shit. Like power couples, we got them. Beyonce, Jay, Obama, Michelle, they all hot shit in their own right. You know what I mean? Like why can't we just be hot shit? It doesn't have to be I'm better than this dude. I'm better than that dude. I'm better than that lady. I'm better than this shit.
Why we just can't build together, right?
Right, and that's why I was getting at earlier about. Competition has to stop at someone. It has to stop somewhere. It has to get to a point where we're working together and as a force. But nobody is thinking like that because, like you said, they playing the game. They rolling the dice, and it's just like I think when I think about when I was in my 20s and stuff, and the shit that I was accomplishing, like I did feel like I was worth. I felt like I had a self-worth. Like I wasn't gonna just fuck with anybody. You dig what I'm saying? But I still had a pursuit mentality. So it was like I didn't go around saying, "Oh, I'm an executive at a record company. Oh, I'm this at a Fortune 500 technology company." I wasn't that guy. Like I if I lied about anything, I would lie to people about what I did because I didn't want the groupies that came along with that industry. You know what I'm saying? So, but I knew my worth. I knew I didn't have kids. I ain't got no record. I got great jobs. I was making good money. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't have, but it wasn't something that I used against women.
So what you're saying is you could be a prize, but you didn't act like a prize.
It's walk with kings and don't lose the common test. You understand what I'm saying? Like and that's what that's the thing is like humility to me, humility with dignity is like I always say that's the first step toward being an honorable man. Like if you talk
let me ask you a question, Mikell.
Yeah.
What is your wife's favorite quality about you?
Right now, because it's changed over time. Originally it was just my candor, my upfront, and I told, I always spoke my mind. I didn't, whether it was popular or not. Nowadays it's how I'm a dad. Like she just really appreciates me as a partner in this co-parenting space. Well, not co-parenting, in parenting, in this parenting space. And I think that because of her experience with her father, she really appreciates me because it's the complete opposite experience than what she had. So it's almost like you don't miss what you have until it's gone. Well, it's the reverse for her. Like she didn't have it, and now she's seeing what it looks like, and that to her is endearing. Like that's just like, wow, this is what the fuck I'm talking about. Good job, Courtney. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and so that's the energy that I get literally daily. Like, because you know, the kids, they come to me and she just watches how I interact with them. Like I'm the type of disciplinarian that I am, the type of loving father that I am. Like I don't, if my kids jump on me and we on the couch, I don't get off me. Why? What the hell is wrong with you? That because he's a boy and stuff like that. Like I embrace my kids. So I think that is, or at least that's the things that she's said to me, just offhand.
And so none of that has to do with like your accolades or your.
It ain't got shit to do with my wall.
Think about it. Think about it, right, Sam? What about you? What you thinking?
I think it's pretty similar to what Mikell said, but I think for me it probably has something to do with just the fact that I'm really, really emotionally intelligent. I don't have any issues telling people how I feel, whether it be my wife, my kid, and I promote just a healthy environment on a regular basis when it comes to just communication and
keeping that peace.
Yeah, keeping peace in my house. So it's like I think she appreciates that.
What do the ladies like about you the most?
It's Chi.
My bad.
Oh, no, you good. Yo, you good. I've
never been the strongest reader. Come on, man.
But you know, I'm in a relationship now. But when I was, you know, out in the dating game and everything,
in these streets,
in the streets, honestly, I was just a fun time for the most part. Like we're gonna go out, we're gonna have a good time. Outside of that, you know, I always kept it 100 with the person as well, as far as what they're doing, whether I agree with it or not. If they ask for some advice, I would give them the advice that I thought was best, and usually it would be good advice. But as far as, you know, the dating scene though, you know, I was just no one's actually really told me, but from what I gathered, I just felt like, you know, that we were always going to enjoy ourselves for the most part.
And,
so
it had nothing to do with what you had in your pockets, how much money you were making.
Oh, no, sir. Because honestly,
your degrees, any of that.
No, because before school, I mean, I worked EMS. And the money was okay for, you know, I'm a young 20-year-old. It was okay, but it wasn't anything crazy. And I wasn't out here just spending it, you know. If anything, you know, they were spending on me more than I was spending on them for the most part. You know, I'm in school now. And then me and my girlfriend, she just graduated. I'll be done next year, 2021. So, I mean, then at that point, thank you. So things might change then, but yeah, it wasn't never but what I spent or anything like that. Cause I mean, I would spend, but like spending like crazy. No, I didn't do that.
I don't think nobody walking around with like spreadsheets on spending. Like we have experiences.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, and we'll contribute to an experience. And to me, like I said, when people go to social media, people creating these memes, that's from a culture that is a subculture, but because of social media, it just gets fed in everybody's feed.
Yeah, it's in everybody's face. Yeah.
And so it's some shit that I see out there, and I just be like, what the fuck, you know? Like I don't know. Like I don't think I spent that much time, even being a therapist and working with couples or individuals that has issues with finding love. I don't think I've ever spent that much time trying to break down the detail like that. Like if you have 3 dates and she didn't even offer, like who thinks like that? Who wakes up? Who dreams of that shit?
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. And what was the impetus to that thought? Like they had to have, like who came up with 3?
Yeah, where
versus 2?
It's like the 90-day rule. Like
right.
Like,
I hated that shit.
Like, who's coming up with
real?
Like,
and nobody loved that shit except for women. Like dudes hated 90-day rule. Like we was like, what? The fuck is you talking about?
Women hated too. I think
we knew it was cap too, though. So that's another part.
Fact. That's true. But that's what the culture. When we started coming up with these arbitrary numbers about the social, I guess experience, like that to me is not realistic, and more often than not you'll end up kind of shooting your face off. I'm not even gonna say shooting off your nose to spite your face, but I'm saying like literally shooting your face off. You'll be looking back 10 years wondering, what the fuck? I followed the rule.
Yeah.
90 days,
Nah,
3 dates, no offer. I'm
it-
cutting this chick off. Like,
it's fucking up the game, man. And
It's
hard.
a different time right now.
It's fucking up the game. And at the end of the day, I think I agree with Mikell. I don't think much has changed. I think, you know, people been out here doing what they want to do. Women have been, you know, fucking. And so in my opinion, the game ain't changed. It's just the niggas in it. We have gotta, you know, we have changed. Like the way we looked at the people that are in the game have kind of changed, and social media probably has something to do with it. You know, you know, even the idea of just connecting with a lot of people that think things that they would never say, but they would type. And so, and you get what I'm saying? Like
anonymous.
Yeah, they would type
asking
it,
for a friend.
So, exactly. So they putting it out into the atmosphere. They would never do this face to face with a woman. Be like, I'm the prize. You need to pay the next date. You know, none of that. However, it's a thought that they've had, and they put it out there to see how many people agree with them. And that's pretty much my takeaway. I don't think the game has changed. I think it's just the niggas in it has changed the way that they looking at it.
I'll say this. What I think that people are looking for when they reference things like that is just reciprocation. Because like Mikell spoke on before, you know, there's women out here who dating just for food, and men got tired of that. You know, we don't want to get finessed for free meal anymore. So we got to make sure we're actually getting something in return from these women. Like I said, you got to actually want to know that this woman likes you. So that's why these arbitrary rules are being created, because like, okay, you know, I just took you to two dinner dates. I want to make sure I'm not the food nigga in her phone. So now I want her to pay for a meal for me. You know, I need something to let me know that I'm just not food
I
nigga.
think that could be communicated in a different way.
But it's also a fair point. It is a fair point, right?
No,
so
it's very
like,
fair.
I mean, nobody wants to get played. Nobody wants to get played. I don't deny that. I mean, that's not new either. But I'm saying that there's a way you can go about it that's not as toxic. Put it this way. A human being is not an Excel spreadsheet. You know what I mean? You can't just put a formula, click, clack, clack. All right, you cut off. That's just not the human experience. That same woman that would use somebody or have a food nigga in her phone eventually will mature and be a different woman next year. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, the human experience is one that we either grow together or we grow apart. At the time you met her, I mean, y'all probably won't talk for a while. Like, say for instance, you used to be that food dude. All right, I'm cut your ass off. You just milking me. I'm good. And you moving on with your life. You may run into her 2 years from now, and she be like, you know what? I miss you. You know, I miss the time we really did have a good conversation. I was on some knucklehead bullshit. Like, you have to give people room to grow. And if you're gonna have a good circle, have attributes that you want in your circle and pull people in for that, and then pick. And that's what I'm saying. Like, if there are women out there that I think so when you look at their list, they're like, I want to do that's a 6-figure nigga. Like, I want minimum that, because that's what I am, right? They don't want to date down. Like, but they're setting a standard, and if they meet somebody that's not 6 figure, all right, yeah, they cutting them out, and they're making their group smaller and smaller and smaller, and that's what we're doing. We're becoming what they were.
So are we becoming what they were in response, or is it?
Well, I said early on that they kind of set the message. You know, we're reactive. Men are reactive anyway. I mean, we are literally the protectors of our community. So that means you respond to threats to the community. We respond to threats to children. We respond to threats to women. That's what we do.
Threats to ourselves as well.
Respond to threats to ourselves. So of course we are reactive, and we felt threatened. I don't want to get played. Fuck that. All right. Well, I'm gonna come up with my own schema of how I'm gonna operate, and it's based on how they were operating. So if you thought that they were, you know, savage, guess what? Your scheme is now savage, because you're matching the energy, and that's what I'm saying. Like, the toxicity is bled into you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it sounds like we got growing up to do on both sides. I think that's what it boils down to. I think it has grown. There's growing up to do on both sides, and understand, because the thing about it is, there are men that treat women wrong, but there are also women that treat men wrong as well.
Absolutely.
And in a way,
Mhm.
regardless of, Buddy's lame. The guy that put this out there, he's lame. But clearly somebody has hurt him, right? Somebody has done him wrong.
So
He's probably been
someone's
somebody's.
did it wrong.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably been, done wrong in a way. I'm not saying he's a great guy, but what I'm saying is, you ask where the fuck that come from? Like, nigga, you just graduated. You gonna put black women in your
Full
in your
disclosure.
Go
Full
ahead.
disclosure. I actually said that shit in a relationship.
What?
When me and the young lady were having a issue, I was like, "You ain't gonna find no nigga like me." Yes, I ain't got no kids, no that. Like,
I think we all said
I was
that.
like, but I'm saying, like, I get
Yeah.
I
You
get
You
it.
get it. Yeah.
But I now realize I grew up emotionally, right?
Yeah.
I realized how toxic that was. Like, that's some mean ass, just nasty shit to say to somebody.
And in
She
the moment,
laughing. She
in the
laughing.
moment, you thought
She
he was a
laughing.
nice guy.
I'm saying,
Yeah.
I
How many
came off
times you
like,
said that?
I ain't never said that. Nah, I'm nice. I couldn't say that. I mean, have I thought it? Of course, but I'm not gonna say it.
yeah, I said that shit. That's
I said that shit.
I mean, I did. That's why I said full disclosure. Like, but she was a black woman. You understand? I ain't gonna be talking about black women and dating out my race. Like, that's just
Yeah, exactly. But it's and that goes back, like you said it, and back in the day when you did, it goes back to what he said because he understands kind of the dynamic of how black men are socioeconomically, with everything they got going on. He understands. He kind of stands out. So, and a lot of dudes recognize that now, and they know women want companionship. They know we're scarce in the way. So they use that to their advantage.
But do they hold all women to that standard or just black women?
Well, I would hope they would hold all women to that standard.
Yeah,
But
because we have seen.
yeah.
Hey, that right there that's a word right there, Mikell. I mean, I won't say that I don't know the answer, but I don't feel like that's the case, and that
Yeah.
may
Yeah, I don't either.
and that may be because of white women's socioeconomic status, and their what their family dynamic may look like, whatever the case may be. I'm just but I agree with you, Mikell. I don't think that that's the case, and
Yeah.
I think that's unfair, but I also think that we have killed this topic, bro.
Yeah.
Like we have killed it. Chi, man, appreciate you for bringing it up.
Hey,
You know what I'm
appreciate
saying?
No, for
you.
real, this is a
Look,
good one.
one thing I will say before we wrap, man, Chi goes viral just about every day on Twitter.
He's been
Uh,
wait,
What he be
he
doing?
he been suspended by Twitter.
Yeah, he's been suspended, blocked, created 4 or 5 accounts, and what I will say
Keep it
is,
going.
knowing Chi is that he's gonna push the boundaries. I think what he does more so allows people to more so think, and he triggers people.
And that's all I try to do.
Yeah, I mean, he triggers people, and I know him personally, so I know that some of it is real, some of it
Some of it.
some of it he's playing around. But I do feel like it does point to us having these conversations. It pushes people to like, all right, look, and even if women were offended by what he said, it also should push them to think, all right, so what would lead a man to be like this?
Just
You know what
stay
I'm
there.
saying? Like what
Or
there's
the
always
ones that can.
the ones that
the ones that can come out of the anger.
yeah, the ones that, I mean, they'll be mad today. They'll be mad one day, but then they'll get out of it and they'll realize, like, look, and us having these type of conversations will make them realize, yeah, I did used to got that. That nigga spent probably about $400-500 on meals, and I was never interested in him. You know what I'm saying?
And then we don't communicate that. Remember, we
Nah,
don't
I mean-
communicate like, oh, this is a little hard on me type of thing. Like, we not.
No, I mean, we're
saying
trying to
nothing
press.
about
We're
it.
chasing, and I think that's really my takeaway is I'm not saying that women should chase men. I'm saying that there should be at the beginning, if there's an attraction there for real, there should be some type of. It shouldn't be 90-10. You know what I'm saying? There
That's
should
crazy.
be some type of like, it shouldn't be all the way balanced, but there should be some type of balance because
And
that's
we're gonna have to, we're just gonna have to have an episode on social cues so people can know if somebody's interested in you or not.
yeah.
Like maybe
I mean,
that's what
maybe
needs
that's
to
it.
happen.
Maybe that's it.
Oh,
And I think-
Mikell, your favorite topic, communicating.
well, you know what? We ain't even did one on that yet. So
90% of communication is body language. I mean, it's that's what I'm
see
saying.
that.
Like maybe people are just not picking up
maybe
on it because
he's missing it. Yeah,
he's missing it. Because I fed, full disclosure, I fed everybody. You
Me
know,
too.
when I back
Same
when I
thing.
had money, so I would go out and I ain't have a problem feeding her. I'd be like, bring your girlfriend, you know, da da da. Like I wanted to have a good time, kind of like what she was saying.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so I wasn't one, and because I could, I'm not saying that it came because I had the money. You dig what I'm saying? I
Mhm.
wasn't thinking about it. I was just thinking about having experiences. And as long as that was my agenda, I wasn't caring about, you know, was I getting played? I mean, I used to have cookouts. Like I used to cook at my house all the goddamn time. People would drive from all over the place, make drinks, music playing. My house was the club. And that was something I enjoyed. I enjoyed the experience, but I also chose my circle.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing. We just got to be careful out here, man. Don't be out here just
Yeah.
spending all your money. But women also be real. You know, let the man know. All right. Well, and you know, sometimes they are, and men just don't want to. They're trying to be chase, and it doesn't work out. And so
Yeah.
I think I think it's just worth having a conversation more and more, and then women kind of making it clear what they are, and also learning social cues. Man, we can't be out here getting played.
And
This
mind your motherfucking
fucking
business.
there you go, man.
Like,
Hey,
well, I
hey,
don't care what
Definitely
people
take
think.
deeply.
hey, man, Chief, thank you for coming out on the show,
Hey,
man.
appreciate you having me.
And
No, we
look,
appreciate the topic.
if you got,
Yeah,
yeah, we
yeah.
do. And if you guys want to hear more like this, if you have topics that you guys want us to address, hit us up at You Good Bruh Podcast. We're on IG, Facebook, You Good Bruh Podcast, and Twitter, YG Bruh
Hey, Chi,
Podcast.
do you want to give out your Twitter handle, man?
Oh yeah, if you like.
Oh yeah, so I had to, I switched things up, numero uno negro.
Okay. I'm about to follow that right now. Is it right now?
Numero uno
Uno
negro.
Negro.
So
Yeah.
that's Cheese handle, man. Y'all follow this man. He's hilarious.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it real on there. If you
Yeah.
sensitive, do not follow me.
Oh yeah, if you don't have,
Don't
you
be
know,
reporting this motherfucker.
yeah,
Like,
don't look, if you can't deal with some outlandish shit from time to time, just leave him alone, man.
Please.
Don't even follow him. So yeah, he's made like 6 Twitters.
that's why I was like,
So so yeah, man. Look, man, I'm Sam Dupe and I'm good.
hey, I'm Mikell and I'm good.
My name is Joe Duke. Take people seriously, and I'm good.
Shit, I'm cheating. I'm good too.
All right, man. And just like
Hey.
that, man, we gone, man.
All right.
Appreciate y'all. Peace.